Hey Tails and Nerdia, isn't it time for you to record your chapter reaction?
I don't feel like it.
Hey, is something wrong?
I just don't have a lot to say.
Well, I understand, but I think people would still like to hear from you.
No, just go away.
Listen, Tails and Nerdia, I tried to be nice, so how about you get off your ass?
Alright, nothing to it but to do it. We got chapter 375 of Hunter x Hunter. First thing I want to do is I'm looking at the Viz translation, so I want to read the descriptions of these Nen Beast's abilities to you. Sorry if I'm like shaking the camera right now, but I want to read them from the Viz translation because I thought they were a little confusing in the manga stream translation. Speaking of which, by the time this posts, the leaks for the next chapter, 376, might be out. Please don't post any comments about that chapter in the comments of this video. Head over to Reddit if you want to discuss spoilers. Anyways, we got Tyson here, and it turns out that her book is more important than I was anticipating. You know, a while back I said that one of these pages was kind of a waste of a page, and that was a pretty stupid thing to say. But it did feel like it was just re-emphasizing things that we already knew instead of giving us new information. So it was just emphasizing that Izunami and the other hunter who is with him didn't read Tyson's book, and as it turns out, that is important to her Nen Beast ability. So let me read this to you here as I take a sip of my drink. Probably not going to be a lot of editing on this video because I'm doing it really late. So, sixth Prince Tyson's guardian spirit beast is an emitter, diffusive levy type. The Eyewog is what they're calling it instead of the squinty eye. The Eyewog sticks to those who receive a book of Tyson. So if they've received the book, one of these little guys is going to stick to them. The Eyewogs collect aura from their hosts in exchange for happiness. So it takes their aura, gives them happiness. The degree of happiness depends upon how thoroughly they've read the Book of Tyson. So this is probably why Izunami hasn't been affected too much yet. You don't see him as giddy as all of the other bodyguards that are protecting Tyson because he hasn't read the damn book. However, breaking the soul taboo in the book brings about severe punishment. I have a feeling we're going to get to see what that severe punishment is, given the fact that all of these other guards seem to be, practically in love with Tyson and super happy. I don't think it's going to be Izunami. I think it's going to be the other hunter that he's been talking with this whole time. Does that mean death? What could that severe punishment be? I'm not too sure. But now we have that kind of looming over our heads right now. And hopefully it's not Izunami. I mean, I'd like for this other person to survive because they're a Dragon Ball fan. If you didn't see the Dragon Ball reference in there, calling the big eye a spirit bomb, which is pretty interesting. Togashi's been throwing in a lot of strange references, with songs, and Silent Majority is like some pop idol or something like that. Those kinds of references, they're all right, whatever. I also want to read the Viz translations of the other Nen Beasts that we get to finally learn about their abilities. So we get Camilla, Tubepa, and Lucidus. We get their abilities. Camilla's is a manipulator, coercive, controls someone who fulfills its conditions at will. Would make sense for Camilla to be a manipulator. I mean, all of these have manipulator type abilities to them so far. Since it's a coercive type, the manga stream translations are calling it something different because now there's all these different subcategories of Nen. So manipulator has several different categories, conjurers, and it's getting a little crazy. So I need to really cross-reference those, but from what it sounds like for Camilla's, it's not controlling a lot of people at once. It seems like controls someone who fulfills its conditions at will. So it just seems like a single person. But who knows if maybe there is someone who is already under the control of her Nen Beast within Benjamin's camp. And the fact that we are learning about her Nen Beast right now would make me assume that, she's not out for the count. Even though I've said that in previous videos that, we shouldn't count her out yet. She's not dead. She's just being held captive right now. So, of course, we're going to get to see what her Nen Beast does. And that's why we're getting that explanation right now. Or it could be because these 3 characters will be killed off shortly. So Togashi's like, oh, hey, here's what their abilities do. But I doubt that. I think it's the former. So then we have Tubeppa, Transmuter, collaborative type that requires a research partner for activation. The beast can produce a variety of drugs within its body. Makes sense. One of the first times that we saw Tubeppa, maybe the first time that we saw Tubeppa, she, I believe, I always mix that up. She was, toiling around with some laboratory equipment. But very interesting. This Nen Beast has a bit of a different ability from a lot of the others that are manipulators. So can produce a variety of drugs within its body. Then we've got Lucidus, a conjurer, pseudo-coercive, manipulative ability. Sets a trap by conjuring whatever the target desires as bait and activates once the target falls for it. So it is conjuring something, and if, uses it as bait, and then it turns into manipulation instead. And since it's pseudo-coercive, I'm assuming that is not as direct as, say, Camilla's Spirit Beast. So very interesting that Togashi would give us this big just info dump right now. With Tyson here, we're getting a scene of Tyson and Izunami, and that's why it's explaining the Nen Beast. But then Togashi just gives us this full page and just like, oh, by the way, here's what these other 3 do. I mean, this whole chapter is practically filled with this stuff. Because then the next thing we see is Hulkenberg's Nen Beast, which got me really excited. Just all of that aura when all of them are standing there praying together. And this Benjamin's bodyguard is kind of analyzing why there's so much aura. It's because all of their will right now is shared. But I still think it's a little weird that Togashi would give us Camilla, Lucidus, and Tubeppa's abilities. To me, that would signify that he almost wants you to see it coming when those abilities are being used, or to make you think that they are already being used, maybe. Something like that. It's just so strange to put that there without a purpose. Because in this scene with Hulkenberg, the scene with Tyson, there's context and there's a reason that we're getting the descriptions of those abilities. Now, aside from this Nen Beast being a crazy enhancer, it is also, at least what this bodyguard is assuming and analyzing, he believes that it also has manipulator abilities because of the way that it manipulated people's memories. So he's kind of afraid to go attack it right now. The Nen Beast is staring him down. Wise move, telling Benjamin, I'm going to need some backup to confirm the ability of this Nen Beast. And the dedication of Benjamin's guards is, as I said in a previous video, something that is very admirable. They are just completely devoted to him. So he wants 2 other people there so that one of them, and it sounds like he's talking about himself, will attack. And if something bad happens, the other 2 can report back to Benjamin and let him know what the ability is. But just this huge enhancer aura in general is just, it's so beastly. And it just makes Hulkenberg seem so much more dangerous than before because he's kind of a softie. Like in a couple panels later, we're going to see him crying, in a similar way to Oito, where she was upset that Momose died and wanted Kurapika and the other guards to go save her. I can't just stand by and watch, her stepdaughter die. Stepdaughter? Yeah, whatever. And Hulkenberg is the same way. He can't just sit by and let his siblings die or other people die. I think that's a good matchup, Oito teaming up with Hulkenberg, and they already have that alliance the way that Kurapika is teaching them about Nen. So I think he's trustworthy, and hopefully Kurapika and Oito are able to benefit from this alliance. However, he is now about to go head towards the king's room or wherever the king is right now to plead to him to make this succession war end. And of course, that's not going to go well. It's not going to go well. Is he just going to get turned away? Is something going to happen in the hallways as he's walking down there? Now that he's splitting up his guards, his aura is going to be lessened most likely because the others aren't around. Things are not looking good for Hulkenberg right now. I mean, yeah, his Nen Beast is super powerful. You're splitting up your power. Not that he's super aware of what's going on. Just the fact that he's going to have to walk by a ton of other princes' rooms, not going to be good. I mean, it's pretty much a guarantee that he's going to run into someone in the hallways or something bad's going to happen when he meets the king. Is he going to end up seeing that room with all of the coffins? It's about to go down. Shit's going to go down with Hulkenberg. I can't just see him walking to the king, having a discussion, the king saying, no, fuck you, and then he walks back to his room and everything's fine and dandy. Now, when we get to Fugetsu, this part's a little strange because we get to see Tyson's Spirit Beast, Nen Beast ability. Then we get info dump with the other three. Then we get to see Hulkenberg's. When we get to Fugetsu, no explanation. I went back to the chapter with Fugetsu and Kacho, and when that door opened, and it's not really clear whose ability that actually is. And I'm actually leaning more towards Kacho right now because Fugetsu can't use the ability. She's trying to use it, and it's not working. She says before, a door to Kacho appeared when I wished for one. But now she's trying it again, and it's not working. Did her Nen Beast run out of aura from doing that? Didn't seem like a very strong ability to begin with. I don't feel like it would drain too much energy. So I'm wondering if this is actually Kacho's ability, especially because Kacho, while she seemed slightly surprised, she wasn't surprised enough. You know what I'm saying? She should have been more shocked if her sister just pops out of the middle of her bed. So I feel like it's actually Kacho's ability, and that's one of the reasons why we don't get an explanation here. And then we get to my favorite part of this chapter. Maybe not my favorite part, but a part I really enjoyed, and that's the part with Verge, or Welge. I'm going to go with Verge, however you want to say his name. This man, he's a true man, okay? Because he can appreciate a woman with a muscular physique. I really like this part. We finally get some humor in this arc, and the arc has been a pretty dark arc so far. So we get to lighten the mood a little bit with Verge appreciating Biscay's muscular form. And I'm curious how she'll react if he actually vocalizes his feelings, because, when Kurapika gave her a compliment and said, oh, you're more fit to be a princess than to go on this mission, she gets all bashful and stuff. And Killua had told Kurapika that, good way to get her on your side is with compliments. So if Verge starts complimenting her in this form, the one that she's tried to hide, I'm wondering how that's going to go. But I really enjoyed this part. It did take up several pages of them just trying to convince him that Nen is real and displaying how it is and going into detail about Mariam's Nen Beast and showing us how exactly it worked. It did take up a lot of pages, but just the characterization of Verge alone, I think, made it worth it. Let me know how you guys feel about that, but very nice way to lighten up the mood of this chapter. But anyways, now we know how Mariam's ability is working. We got information on a lot of the other Nen Beasts. There's still a few that we're unsure of. Fugetsu, Kacho. We don't know exactly what Zhang Lei's is doing. Benjamin, the fourth prince. Is that all of them? And of course, we don't know, what's his name? The one of the most important princes that Kurapika is guarding. Wobble. That's his name. We still need to figure out what Woble's Nen Beast is. We haven't even seen it yet, really. Or maybe we have, when all of those Nen Beasts were running around, but I highly doubt it. But anyways, that's all for me this week. I'll try to get the next one out a lot faster, but, every time I make promises, I'm never on time with stuff, which is probably appropriate since my whole channel is dedicated to, Togashi's work. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye.